Mm-hmm. So can we stay on till Prince Albert?
He's admitted to cloning the key, stealing the car, driving you there.
Oh, bloody hell, lad. But first, she's got to get her building out of the ground.
Linda can't pay back the money. People start to get angry. She's threatened by both John Glenn and Colin Coates. She needs to buy herself some time, so she deflects the blame onto the man she calls Uncle Ben.
We do everything properly, but we're still here doing that talk. Stuff like that, so we're not meeting to them all the time. But obviously, you've got to make sure they do their skill drills correctly.
Right.
I got bitten by the bug, as a child. A friend and neighbor of the family. He was a rocket engineer for Bell Aircraft. And
that bachci yn illa y mwy o chwrs y cwjwch.
I was playing about 4 or 5 handicap, and to get better and to play on longer courses, I wanted to play further back. So
But there are many mistakes made along the way, of course.
I asked him about Twitter layoffs. The way they said, pretty much everyone said, is that it felt quite haphazard and it felt a little bit uncaring.
I wouldn't say uncaring. The issue is like.
now for something electrifying. Cooper. Angel Elixir, the new eau de parfum, Mugler.
Do you remember years ago we used to come in and just fall asleep with a face full of makeup?
Or worse, we tried to take it off with soap. Oh.
Our loved ones, definitely starting to miss my wife.
Don't make me tear up right now. Sure.
A lot about myself.
A lot of drool, like immediately.
Dad, what about you? Is your ear still full of strange?
Well, we did our darndest.
Life is confusing. Don't be confused. BeConfused.com.
See what I mean? One photo, Port Meadow. No people in it.
Property ladder, and perhaps have plenty left for a special holiday. You can try the free Sun Life Equity Release. Treat yourself.
And you'll be helping the Royal British Legion support our service community, Britain's bravest.
Getting show ready with F&F, sponsors of ITVB.
Longcom, new energy HPN 300 peptide cream.
A dechrau adeiladu silffoedd, bwrdd gwisgo, cael y gwely fewn.
Dim lot, e?
Na. Beth bynnag, sy'n mynd yn chdig mewn dyn ystod molchi.
Chop.
These recipes must be extravagantly expensive.
On the contrary, they start at just £2.99 a meal.
Gusto.
These people.
How's your mom going by any of their names?
Why would she keep this from me?
Missing exclusively cinemas coming soon.
This game can really get into people's heads.
With the
Hi. Good to see you.
Harrison has had a few words to say about mine and Melinda's relationship. He said something that isn't true.
Here, curious creatures are already returning.
There's a fine art to rehoming the new coral.
Get up and at it, as my mother used to say. Get moving. Get your skates on. Did you hear, Doc?
Up to you. You lead the way. I want to see it. So, what are these three great big lumps? These sort of bits of gun emplacement?
Work, might have to do a bit of research.
She might have some new material like after this lot.
That's...
Discover a world of free TV just above your head. Freesat is contract-free TV that uses your satellite dish to give you over 170 channels as well as the streaming favourites you love. And it's free TV you can control with pause, rewind and record. Start living life free at freesat.co.uk.
Do you remember years ago?
Pretend it's your mom. A mother who's sick of listening to you.
Pick it up and pay you immediately. If you're buying one, every Kazoo car passes a 300 points inspection.
Hellfire Henry Kinch.
Somebody wants to pop them.
Yeah, well, that's not too surprising considering what this shit has been saying.
Yeah, whoever won a favorite. As you know, we're not.
As you can see, sir, I have instant access over all of my cadets and all of the...
You know that concert I was telling you about? Well, I was so close to the stage when I saw her, and she pulled me in. It was so unexpected.
The coolest thing I've ever seen.
It was such a scene, but I look pretty hot.
It was so hot. I mean, the look on his
Face
face.
it. You really missed out on the best
Time
time.
of our lives, you really have to be there.
When you're with Amex, you always have a story to tell. It's never a question of if it's going to happen, it's when.
Suffering, Shanika says she tripped and fell while fleeing from a brawl inside his club.
All rise.
Then comes the younger.
It's a twisted tale.
And after the grief, there has to be justice.
That's Scott Peterson. 1 week after Lacey went missing, on the phone with Amber, pretending
I thought it was pretty good.
Where'd you get a name like Napoleon?
I'll tell you sometime.
When?
One will die.
Being alone can sometimes let you down.
Expect to have quite a lot of muscular damage because obviously it's such a big plate that's in it. And quite like to...
Your quote today at lv.com.
Women in colonels first, Henry. Anyway, we're not in the army. That is, we're in the army, but we're not army.
Cold. And if you tend to wash colder, you could save up to 60% on your washing machine and
Protects hair against breakage.
Which means brushing.
This is almost a pastiche of the way that Hollywood has seen her. So many times Hollywood has cast her based on her looks and her sensuality. And she's now...
So that they don't pop out over the top. And it...
Somebody got hurt. But guess what? Guess who's got to pay attention today?
You.
Yes, and who else?
Logs. Then we put on the rafter logs. So yeah, that's gonna slip in right here. And once that's all.
It's formed, and the monks spill beyond their monasteries as pioneers of business and social care. Yet, the more influence they gain, the more they drift from their principles.
I think we've got it down to 2 or 3, but I would like to go back and retry.
She just needs a little bit of time to go home, digest everything, and then...
Remarkably subtle bit of TV direction.
After 3 wins in 4, particularly after the win against Brighton, we're expecting he's going to be in a good...
There ain't much of keeping them alive. Yeah. Oh well. Never mind.
And I've got to get the sugar by tapping on a pipe.
That's the most important till of all.
What's your normal tap? Just
single thing I have to do.
Okay, let's look at the bottom now. Okay. So if you lie back and roll over onto your side.
So Mondays at 9 on Sky History.
Take a trip through British history every Friday night with Blaze.
Ooh, oh, I like that.
At 9, join Professor Alice Roberts as she takes us on a walk through Britain's most historic towns.
There were lots of women working back there. Later on it would become known as Damnation Alley.
Damnation Alley.
That's a crossbow. You recognise that?
I think I'd need a bit more training before I was able to defend them.
But also, it will create steps up to the edge of the water feature. So if frogs do want to get in, they can.
And a one-car garage.
That's really, I love the garage choice.
That is so nice. Here we go.
Okay.
There, it's missing. So it's gone, all right?
Oh, quite a bit of gesso coming off here.
Can you put it back to as close as it was to when it was new?
Where some are still made today. This piece might be worth around £700.
Paul, I need to ask you some questions regarding the morning of December 8th.
As an experienced investigator, you kind of get...
We were satisfied at the end of that search that we had recovered all the...
Really benefit from that. I think with this and the sort of look of house this is going to go into, they're going to want it to show some age.
If you end up going into the water, if you get a serious infection and it becomes, and you can't...
But it would be hopefully 3-0. The Dundee United manager Jim Goodwin has doubled down on his belief that the Tanada...
Come home, let's talk about what happens when you come home, okay? And I know that,
New online bingo game today. It's bingo that'll make your jaw drop. And it's super social. Play for as little as 25p and...
I don't want to know. I don't want to get in that news at some point. Because it's going to kill me. I know it. I've lost a couple of friends who've been fighting on the front line. And that's...
Oh, cheers, 2 periods, no more.
Cheers. It's time for a check-in with Benenden Health.
With Expedia, you can save when you book your flight, but...
For saying unkind words to Kim Jong-un. They have apparently patched whatever anger that Tucker Carlson held over, as we saw in those Dominion filings, and of course sued Fox News for defamation.
Find. So I know a little bit about corporate attitudes. All the immense progress we see around us was built through conversation and compromise, discussion and debate, voting and inclusion.
Já vás všichni zdravím, zdravím vás ze Slovenska z obce Sviňa. Sviňa? Tak. 8. přidáváme všichni svátek.
Where he arrived for his press conference. Now, that has been in a stark contrast to his reception elsewhere. Protesters have plagued him during this 2-day visit. This morning at the Science Park, someone was arrested with brute force, and yesterday during his speech on strategic autonomy for Europe, In The Hague, several protesters also unfurled banners.
Back into absolute poverty in their tens of millions. So there needs to be a response.
特徴としては、水分量が非常に多くて、柔らかいというのが特徴です。
Upcoming NBA rights negotiations that they will hopefully have the NBA for the long term. So, guys, we'll have to see how that plays in to the negotiations because the NBA rights are seen as essential for.
Gordon might issue to one of his current or former personnel.
Yeah, this is.
Have a daily routine.
Early Indiana Jones stories took place during the 1930s, so most of Jones's foes were Nazis.
Junior? Oh, call me that, please.
Mainstream media, people at the Mirror and Guardian are having to pop at him as well. So I think he's on the wrong bus here.
We've adopted the American way. I lived in America. Yeah. The first thing every American says is, never get involved. They've probably got a gun.
I'm always. But that early pace will serve you well.
Yeah, old Fort BT going on to record a time of 23.98, 363 sectional, which was the quickest amongst these. Let's move on to the last heat, and the favourite's going to win again. It's.
Yep.
We'll try and go next week, right? Sorry.
10.5 hours to go. If we make 7 round trips.
Did you murder Clarence Darby?
I wanted him dead. He killed my wife and child.
It's been a long time since I've had a woman. They're beautiful to look at. You know what they say about Russian bitches, don't you? What?
You pig!
Honestly.
The words come from Tobin.
We all know what beans means.
Gentle, considerate.
Did I tell you he owns his own business? I think he's.
Food Love Stories brought to you by Tesco. Legal in General can help look after monthly bills. Do it for.
because we are in a fallen state. And so love, in a sense, God told me I need to run 1,000 miles this year and share His word even more than I've shared it in the last few years.
I'd always just pat him on the leg.
And he said, that morning I gave it to the Lord.
Who want to come off of them, or for people, it's just not for them.
Yeah.
So with Lip Lift, you'll.
That's why people love it. And you've got the matching cream.
And look at these before and afters. It is absolutely astounding what you could achieve.
Can look quite wintry, yeah, I agree. So with having the white for this time of year is lovely. Lucy has got the white on, and you can just see a hint of that pattern around the top. It's just.
If you're shopping for somebody else as well, you will obviously know their size, but with a 60-day money-back guarantee, when they're delivered, you can just make sure.
Aren't you today in our sale? These are natural Montana sapphires.
6, it's on and gone. It's on and gone. Next up we have.
You about the multi-level presentations. None of these rings belong in the same price.
Tiny bit, chap. The lowest setting of this.
I keep right on top of my vacuuming because I
Just gone blank on who's there. And I don't want to.
But repeating it in a smaller version on the top to really draw the two sides.
Like being moved a lot, and it certainly doesn't like being put in under.
I don't even know what time it is right now.
That's not a good thing not to know every time because it's really late.
Spinal cord damage can be.
That might be all the crap, yeah?
Yeah?
Who is this?
Randy, yeah. Thank you so much.
Allow Chelsea to do. Slip the centre halves forward. Can the delivery be on the money?
When I turned professional, I thought, now who do I belong to? So I wrote to the RNA and they said, well, you don't belong to us. Then I wrote to the LG.
There's somebody. If there's ever a reason to be getting out of this park, it's because of that.